Yes.
Bradley.
Here.
Daniel. Rader.
Present.
Gilchrist. Parker.
Here. On the agenda, we have approval of minutes from the March 8th, 2016 meeting. Entertain a motion for their approval.
I'd make a correction on comments that the mayor made about city treasurer being hired, that we go ahead and add that the mayor will need to recommend Ms. Lori Rogers for the new treasurer position at the next council meeting for council approval.
So noted. Any other additions or corrections? Do I have a motion for approval?
I make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin,
Second.
second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under petitions and communications, public comment. Seeing none, approval of appropriations.
We'll need to amend the appropriations to reflect that we're not going to be able to pay Mrs. Rogers with this financial statement because she hasn't been sworn in as the new treasurer.
So noted.
So will we just carry them over to the next meeting? Okay.
Is there a motion for approval of appropriations?
I make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Daniels. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Clarkin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under resolutions and ordinances, we have bill number 4-1-16, certifying 2016 election results, first and final reading. First reading, give you a chance to review those if you need. This is an ordinance of the City of Holden, Missouri, certifying the results of the April 5th, 2016 election and authorizing the mayor to execute this on an emergency basis. So, first and second readings tonight. We have a motion for first reading, a motion to approve first reading.
I make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin,
Second.
second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second reading of bill number 4-1-16, an ordinance of the City of Holden, Missouri, certifying the results of the April 5th, 2016 election and authorizing the mayor to execute this on an emergency basis. This will be a roll call vote. We have a motion to approve. Motion by Councilman Weeks. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Clarkin. Roll call, please.
Weeks.
Yes.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Rader.
Yes.
Gilchrist.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Motion carried. Motion to adjourn the old council.
I make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Under the new revised agenda, we will have the swearing in of the new administration. If they would come forward, please. Pardon?
Yes, everybody.
Everyone that was elected.
Doyle. Neil Carter. Mike Seymour. Sam Rader.
He's outside. He's down the steps.
Officer, would you get Councilman Carter?
It's already. Huh?
I'm coming.
What's wrong with you, man?
Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. Uh-oh, wrong one.
At ease.
Now, I, and state your name, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of council member as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Holton, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Okay, you all stand for the pledge and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. While standing, if you bow your head, please. Lord, as this new council comes together, let a spirit of cooperation and respect prevail. Help viewpoints be expressed in a civil tone and guide the council to serve the citizens of Holden in a positive way toward a bright future for the city. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Weeks. Thomas. Nipko. Carter.
Here.
Daniel. Frazier.
Present.
Zumwalt. Corcoran.
Here.
Okay. Next on the agenda is nomination for the position of Mayor Pro Tem. Floor is now open.
I'd like to nominate Doyle Weeks.
Okay. Seconded by Councilman Carter. Any other nominations? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Councilman Weeks. Next is mayor's comments. When the April 5th election results were tabulated and final, I took a deep breath and said to myself, now maybe the city can move forward. This past year of negative attacks on the city, street department, police, fire, mayor, and city hall brought division to our city. Let's put those days behind us and move in a direction that we can be proud of and get some things accomplished. The citizens have spoken, and now it's up to the council to unite, find common ground, and show the citizens our partisan behaviors are history. No more internal or outside bullying, manipulating, and negative agendas. The citizens of Holden deserve better. We as a council face challenges for which no easy answers are readily available. After 25 years of neglect, our infrastructure is in need of repair. We must find ways to address and fix our streets, our stormwater, our parks, and a host of other concerns. Over the years, Holton has lost 2 train depots, a municipal swimming pool, population, and confidence in our future. If we come together as a community in addressing our problems, we can and will be better for it. Let's start tonight. We'll go through petitions and communications again. Are there any comments from the floor?
I have one. I'd like Jenny Sollers with Holden Package Store in town, a business. I'd just like to say, kind of what you just said and read, reiterate that it's important for the council, the board members, the paid staff that we have, to all have a positive outlook and a positive image that we put both verbally out of our city office, because we here, the council and our businesses, are what represent our city. It's important to stay positive and to stay focused. And I'd like to say some of the nonsense that I've seen on Facebook and on social media. I feel that we need to have a policy in order in our ordinances, in our employee handbook, that stop that and only allow positive things to be put on or no comment at all. I have a letter for everybody that I kind of wrote because I don't speak very well. I'm not a speaker. Our schools, whenever you join an athletic team, there's a handbook that you have to follow, and part of that says that you will only have a positive image and you will only comment positively online. That's all I have. I didn't account for. Also, many places of employment, you have to, in your handbook, it says anything that's put on, you're up to be fired if you put anything negative on. And I think that what we have had going on in this community has hurt our businesses and has hurt the whole image of our community. This is our community. We all need to work together, and I think that that's something that needs to be updated in our books. As social media has become so prevalent in our community, it's not addressed right now. So that's just my feeling as a business owner and being involved in the community. I may not live in town, but I go to church in town, I have a business in town, I'm involved in the chamber, Main Street, and I have a stake in this community, and I think that it's something we need to look at as a council. So, that's all.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll proceed.
Actually, sorry.
Oh,
My name is Jacob Kuykendall. Me and my mother live down on Main Street, South Main Street. And I've been trying to get this problem addressed for almost 2 years. There's an abandoned condemned house right next door to our, at 702, that has not been dealt with in any way, shape, or form. I've gone to the code enforcement. There's issues with the trees on the property and mold in the house. Okay, my mom's allergic to mold. One of the other people here at today told me that she's been having problems with respiratory issues, which I think is all related. The owner of the house came to me and told me 2.5 years ago that he was put into a nursing home due to black mold infestation that nearly killed him. And it's done, nothing has been done. The house has either not been sold, that's what I was told, that it's been put up for sale and rejected for the last 3 years. I talked to the health department today, and they told me that I need to come to you guys and let you know that there's a serious health risk. My mother is allergic to mold. She can't even go outside and mow the yard because of the mold from that house is making it so she cannot breathe. which puts her, life at risk. And I have gone to code enforcement, said, what are we gonna do? And I've been rejected. I've been told that nothing, everything's gonna be done, and 2 years later, nothing's been done. Okay, and admittedly, I came across the clerk incorrectly a while back because I was very upset that I'm being shoved aside. My mother is an owner of the house, and part of the community, and we're being ignored. And it's a rat trap. There's, all kinds, it's falling apart. There's poisons from whoever owned the house in the garage that was an exterminator. Kids can get into there and mess around with it. It's a disaster area. It's an eyesore. And I understand that, there's not much that you guys can really do. I know there's paperwork you guys would have to start, and it can take up to a year for that paperwork, according to the health department. But I would appreciate it if some kind of, something would be done or addressed, because I fear for my mother's life, because she is allergic to any kind of mold, and penicillin, which, some of the molds that grow are not black mold, but they are penicillin-based. And she parks right next to it. The house is not even 20 feet away from our house. So she can't even come outside and do her gardening without being sick. And if there's something that can be done, I would be grateful.
What was the address on the
702 South Market is the condemned house. There's been condemned signs on the house for over 2 years. And in conjunction with that, there's a big, very massive tree sitting between our properties, okay? The problem that it is, it's been hit by lightning. It's dying. There's other trees, a pine tree and some other tree growing in the forks of this tree. And every time the wind hits, it cracks, it snaps, and we're in danger because there are branches that are leaning out over our house and our property. And it scares my mom because, the insurance we have doesn't cover what they call acts of nature, okay, or acts of God. And if that tree breaks, it's already split and dying. If it breaks and falls on our house, we're SOL. We would lose everything we have because, and I've brought that to the code enforcement as well. The gentleman, I don't know, he said it's being addressed. A year and a half ago, he said it was in works to get it taken care of. The neighbors down the street are getting their the dead trees and stuff that are on the street taken care of. No one's taking a look at that house or that tree. And we can't afford $1,000 or more just to have somebody come in and look at it and possibly top it off. And it's a danger. I mean, and I really appreciate if someone would address, I don't know how you guys do this. This is my first time ever being to a council meeting before, or participating for that matter. And I realize that I'm putting a lot on you guys by even talking about this, but we need help. And I'm kind of scared for my mom's health, so.
What was your name again?
My name is Jacob Kuykendall.
How do you spell that?
Kuykendall.
Sounds like an alias to me.
You can't pronounce it, don't worry. I've heard every version you can think of. But
What is your address, sir?
704 South Market. It's right next door, like I said, 20 feet from, less than 20 feet from the house, the property line. We're not even sure where it's at. But I mean, and I understand the gentleman that had the house had to get rid of it. He could not no longer take care of it. He had no family to help him. And I'm not even sure he's still living, but I was told that the health department told me that if taxes haven't been paid on it for at least 3 years or close to it, then you guys have the right to claim the property. The paperwork can take a while, but he says that you guys can start the paperwork and have the house tore down and claim the property and put it up for sale to reclaim some of the costs that it would take to actually take care of that. I wouldn't be bringing this to you guys today if I had tried anything else. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate your concerns. Health and safety is a concern of this council and this mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Any other comments? Community organization updates. Is there anyone in the community organization that would like to report or give an update on their organization? Seeing none, we'll proceed down the agenda under new business. Approval of city treasurer employment. Lori Rogers, she was introduced to the council last month. She's passed her probationary period. She's working out well in the city office. Would I have a motion to approve her employment?
Will there be any discussion as to whether she's qualified to do the job?
That would be appropriate after we have a motion.
I make the motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin,
Second.
second by Councilman Carter. Any comments or questions?
Well, I was just, I thought the council was gonna be more involved with the day-to-day operations of City Hall. We have the budgets coming up, and we do the meetings of the department heads. He said that we would be involved, and with the hiring of the treasurer, for me to be able to vote on her, I'd like to have some information whether she's qualified for the job. I'm not saying she isn't, but I don't have anything that says she is.
She's worked out quite well the last month in her position. She's getting trained. She was trained by the former treasurer. She's currently getting additional training from the clerk, and things are progressing very well. She's picking up her task fast.
What qualifications did she bring to you when you were considering her for employment?
We took applications and we received three. And so we interviewed three.
And in her case, what was her work experience prior to her applying for this job?
She's worked in retail. She's worked with the public. She possesses, obviously, skills that meet the job requirements. It's very difficult for the salary that this city pays to attract someone with a lot of experience. And so it was taken into consideration when the position was offered to her. Is the salary sufficient or satisfactory? She agreed to it. We were pleased with her past work experience, and we went from there.
The hours.
And the hours, flexible, part-time position.
Well, you answered one of my questions. She had prior work experience, and that was an important consideration. I don't know, from our standpoint, not having any information, I mean, this could have been her very first job. And,
Right, no, she came with, experience,
okay,
working with the public, finance.
thank you.
Any other questions? Any other discussion? So we have a motion.
I
And a
make the
second.
motion.
We have a motion and a second. No other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of committee appointments. You should have in your possession a copy of the appointments.
Are we gonna swear her in, the new treasurer? Will she be sworn in?
We can.
We can, if that's the council's choice.
I mean, that's part of the ordinance, supposed to be sworn in to take her
We
position
Okay.
can do it.
as an officer
Lori,
of the
you want to
city.
come up? We'll swear you in.
We're sworn in.
Huh? Oh, you did.
Over here.
Yeah, right hand. I got the wrong one. I, Lori Rogers, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of city treasurer as prescribed by law. That I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Holden, and faithfully demean myself in office to me and myself and all. So help me God. So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Okay, back to council committees. Those were, right? Yeah, they were. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions or comments on committee assignments? If you're on a committee and would like more detailed information on the role of that committee, we can visit at some later time and make sure that you understand what your committee assignment is, what it entails, and how to get along fine in that role.
Yeah. On the streets department, you got Zoom and Clarkin.
I'm sorry.
On the streets, you got Zoom and Clarkin. Is there any way to put a third on that one?
Could do.
I mean,
The third one?
yes.
Well, I've got 3 appointments as it is, so why not? If he wants that one.
Okay, that would be fine if that's agreeable. The council's going to approve these appointments, so we can make amendments now. Weeks on streets. And we'll take Clarkin off. We're going to leave.
Relocation.
You want off?
I'm off.
Well, or you want to stay on? Streets.
I don't see any need for you to.
Okay, so we'll replace Weeks, Clark, replace Clarkin with Weeks.
Easy for you to say.
Sure he did.
Any other comments or requests?
I'd actually like to be on the street committee also.
Is it by ordinance we have 2?
I don't know. Jimmy, do you know?
It says that we'll have a minimum of 2.
So it's only.
I think we should stick with 2. That way it's consistent throughout our committee
We have 3
assignments.
for park. We have 3 for park.
It says that.
It says that in the ordinance. Okay, any other comments?
For the floor?
Not at this time, thank you. We are on the agenda under committee assignments. Is there a motion to accept them as presented and amended?
I make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin to approve committee assignments. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. You have the internet. That was not. I don't think it was. While the clerk is gathering that information so we can discuss it, we will move on in the agenda and come back to that. Number 4, appoint 2016 Tractor Pull Committee. That tractor pull is in September. We have Doyle Weeks and Larry Clarkin on that committee currently. We would like another volunteer from the council to make it a committee of 3, which works with the tractor pull organizations to make sure that that event is successful. Is there anyone that would like to volunteer for that committee?
I'd like to make a comment about it.
Sure.
If anyone does want to volunteer to help us on that committee, they need to be willing to get out and dig for donations and sponsors and really work at it, because it's not an easy job and we need all the help we can get.
Well said. If we have no volunteers tonight, we have one? Okay, Councilman Carter, thank you. I think you bring some experience to that position. Okay, clerks.
To approve that.
I think I'm just appointed, yeah. Okay, under item 5 on the agenda, approve Conservation City Lake Phase 1 project. 2 years ago, when the council took over management of the Holden City Lake, we signed a 25-year agreement with the Department of Conservation, and in that agreement, we agreed to make some improvements. You should have that in your council packet. The contract and the last page are the items that we visited with the Conservation Department with and also agreed to implement at the lake over a period of time. We've been notified by the Conservation Commission that they have put it into their fiscal year budget.
Which fiscal year, please?
I'm sorry,
Which fiscal year?
their fiscal year budget,
For which year?
the upcoming budget.
Is that 2017?
Yes, which starts.
I think theirs starts in January, so it went into their budget.
It went into their budget. Well, anyway, they've notified us that we've been approved for the projects. My direction to the council tonight, or suggestion, is that we approve those projects based on the assumption that they will be phased in. As you see, the total costs there are $84,989. Now, the city's responsibility is 25% of that, which would be $21,247. That's if all of those things were done at one time, and they're not going to be done at one time. Larry Miller has visited with the representatives of the commission, and they're in agreement with us that the first phase would be the handicap fishing dock, handicap covered fishing dock on the north side. And that would include some concrete work for handicap accessibility to the dock, as well as some preparation of the area to accommodate the dock. That cost is, and it's titled Northside Large Floating Dock, $38,000. Now, there are some side things that accompany that: the rock jetty, the sidewalk, concrete parking pad, and so forth. Any questions so far?
On that 30,000, we get in-kind work on that?
Yes, of the $21,247, which would be our amount, they will accept in-kind donations. For example, if we provide labor, machinery, anything toward that project, that reduces that amount of total cost to the city. Where does the money come from? We received a cell phone fund franchise tax settlement about a year and a half ago in the amount of $76,218. I'm suggesting that the council use a partial amount of that so that we don't have to spend any tax dollars, we don't have to budget for it. It's there in a special fund that would help the city accomplish this goal. Like I said, this community has lost.
Could you repeat again how much was in that fund?
$76,218.
Have we used any of it yet?
No. So, using in-kind, using money set aside, as I started to say, this community has lost so much over the last several years. 2 train depots, a community swimming pool, and that's only what I'm aware of. I think we have in our possession, in our midst, a diamond in the rough, being that lake. If we can invest some money out there and make that a destination for fishing, picnicking, family activities, it only benefits the community. A small price to pay for something that would be something that Holden as a community could be proud of. Floor's open for comments.
Do we have a choice on the amount, on whether we spend that money or not? I mean, is this with agreement with the Conservation Commission that we have to do this?
We have a contract with the Conservation Commission. When we signed that 25-year agreement, we told them as a council, unanimously, that we would approach this list of projects on a scheduled basis, strictly up to the council. Anything we as a community can do to make this a more attractive place to live, I think, bears discussion.
Or visit.
Or visit. We're trying to recruit people to live here. We're trying to make it a positive place to live. I can't think of an easier way at a small investment of the funds that were given to the city to reinvest it in our facilities.
On the back of our minds, when we didn't receive that $76,000, I think we pretty much well agreed back then that we were going to use that money to do this lake project. And
Right.
Anyways.
We also put on the table at the same time, we were thinking about trying to asphalt some streets in town, but the motion was put on the floor by Councilman Gilchrist and it died for lack of interest.
I beg your pardon, it didn't die for lack of interest.
I did.
No. It was looked into thoroughly, and it was determined that you can't stockpile asphalt because it goes bad and has to be used as soon as it's ordered. The companies, because of the volatile pricing, won't allow anyone to buy ahead of time, pay ahead of time, and retain the price that's current.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that that part was not looked into, I'm just saying the motion that was on the floor at the time to spend a portion of that money towards asphalting on the streets died. We never got a second. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to be confrontational by no means.
How soon would this work begin if the money were approved?
I don't have an exact timetable, but I'm going to say 6 months to a year. By the time you get your engineering done, your site preparation, all of those bureaucratic requirements that are required to do the job right, 6 months to a year.
Now, this money would not have to be put up front, would it? We wouldn't have to pay it up front, would we?
Well, yes, we do. That's one of the stigmas of the situation, if that's the right word. We do as a city have to pay it up front. What they do then is write us a check back. They want to make sure it's done, accomplished, up to specs, and so forth, and then they reimburse the city. But like I said, on this part of the project, you know, you take your 38 plus your 45 plus your 6, don't have a calculator with me, we're talking maybe $50,000.
You waiting on a motion?
And we have 76 in that fund now that we would have enough to go ahead and pay that up front and get reimbursed. So it's the money sitting there for us as a group, as a council to decide. Yes, to answer your question.
I'll make the motion, we use that money to get the birds on this.
Second. We have a motion by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Sumal. Any other discussion?
It came up to about $62,000, the total of that. It's a little 62 and some change.
Yeah, it's gonna be less because of the in-kind and, you know. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next on the agenda is discussion and approval of police vehicle purchase. Yeah. Everyone has that copy of the police vehicle payment schedule. I had the clerk prepare for you a financial accounting of where we're at currently and where we would be in the future financially on our police vehicle replacement. We've had lots of discussion as a council on the fact that we're spending way too much money monthly on maintenance of police cars that are not of the best quality. 3 years ago, we replaced a car and got an SUV, 2013 Ford Explorer. We have one more payment in January of 2017 on that vehicle. That payoff will be $6,343. What I'm asking the council to look at tonight is we replaced a car and it's in service now, and that was a 2014 Charger. And those payments currently are scheduled for January of 2017, January of 18, and January of 19. It was a 3-year payoff. What I'm asking the council tonight to consider is to go one more step on vehicle replacement, and this vehicle is currently available to the police department. A 2013 Ford Explorer over a 3-year period. And I would ask the council to consider paying off using a part of the cell phone franchise tax settlement to pay off $22,161 on the 2014 Charger. So that would, after 2017, in the fiscal year 2018, we would then have only one vehicle payment. And that would be, if you agree or approve, to go ahead and replace the third car, which would be 3 cars in 3 years. Yes, Jim?
The document you're reading from, does it begin our packet? Is what we got?
That's the financing part on the third car. This is what we're looking at now.
Yeah, it was not in our packet.
I didn't get one.
The other
It should have been on the
thing-
table when you came.
Should have been on the table in your miscellaneous papers, maybe? Yeah. Okay. We failed to pass out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I was wondering,
Now you got numbers in front of you.
yeah.
One more back.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
That helped
thanks
out.
for the question. All right, I'll give you a chance to look at those numbers. I was operating on the assumption that you already had them.
I don't know anybody else wants to have any discussion, but I would just table it to give myself time to take it all in and bring it up at the next council meeting.
Okay, if we table it tonight, then the next car will not be available until December. So
So you can either.
if that's the council's preference, certainly can go that direction.
It's one of those situations where, you know, you gotta get it now or you have to wait.
Right. Because we agreed to put it on that highway patrol list when they come available. We gotta have them.
Like 30 days or something.
Yeah. It just happened that there was a city, from my understanding, there was a city that wanted some and then changed their mind.
Okay.
And it moved us way up the list, it moved us up the list.
Because we were looking about June, July for it, and then it just come a few months earlier.
Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So you're suggesting we pay off the,
For 2014 Charger in January of 17.
which would be 7,387.16 plus the next two payments. right?
Yes, correct.
I basically like the idea, that way we're only stuck with one payment for the following council after that to deal with. Then we'll be stuck with 3 good cars and we can get rid of the old 2.
Yeah, how much is the debt payment? Debt payment? Yeah.
Council a few years ago bought 2 used highway patrol cars. Luck of the draw, they were both lemons. And we've been spending $500 plus a month on maintenance. We'd like to get rid of those maintenance costs, get some cars that will serve the city well.
Where do we get those, you say from the highway patrol, the ones we get are used?
Yes. They put so many miles on them, and then they make them available to
They have
cities.
50,000 miles, and they take them out of service, and they purchase new ones. That way it gives departments like us a chance to have a decent patrol car at a lower mileage. And we average about 6 years of each car. That's what we've been running.
So then, if we bought these, then we would get rid of the ones we'd replace.
Yeah.
No more maintenance.
No more maintenance.
Where, can we get anything out of them? I mean,
That's another thing that I'll bring to the council next month on what we want to do with the old 2 cars after we get both of them serviced. There's 1,000 different options we can do with them. Try to sell them, send them to an auction, so on and so on.
As much money as we've been spending on them, how much do you think they're worth each or combined?
It's hard to say.
Stick of dynamite. On one car, I imagine we could probably, I actually have a bet with the chief on about $20 worth that I can get at least $1,000 out of it. He thinks I can only get 5. So, I mean, it's.
how many miles are these, of course, it's in city miles, which is harder on the road miles, but what,
Do you know the mileage of cars going?
Both the Crown Vics that
Yeah.
we replaced about 133,000, 130 average, but they idle, and idle miles is the idle, hours that are idle, was, I think, worth the car more than anything.
so say, I've got a Crown Vic that's got a lot more miles than that, and I plan to drive another 100,000 miles.
You know, you
I
don't
don't
have
know
to sit
whether my
down.
wife does or not.
You don't have to sit.
Would you like to donate that to the police department?
Yeah, one for a prize.
The main reason I was pushing for the 2 new cars is I was tired of paying that repair bill every month. When we started figuring out repair bills for the year, we could have paid one of these cars off already.
When we get these cars, is there a record of them from day one, maintenance?
Maintenance, yes.
Every time the oil's been, I'm sure the state does.
I went with them to pick up a Charger, and we go down to Highway Patrol Maintenance in this city, and we walk in there, and they take us to an office, and he shows us everything that car's been through. And the car that the Charger that we just picked up, the only thing that was actually in there for was brakes, tires, oil changes, and I think a vent coat. So, I mean, they actually keep record on everything that they do with the car.
But most of those cars have been, it's road miles. I mean, it's not
Highway.
highway miles, yeah, not in.
And if I plan on going down, if we approve this one, to go down and do the same, So, I mean, if there's a list of repairs, I will reject it, because I don't wanna come back with another limit.
And then we'll just wait.
And then we'll set and wait again. But I'm sure I'm not gonna spend that kind of money and go down there and see a repair bill. I don't want that challenge again when we're setting that.
Yeah, we don't want to recommend that.
There's no kind of warranty or anything on these guys.
Actually, I think we did get a small warranty with the Charger, no, not a. They did put new tires on it for us.
We should have put new tires on there.
And they got a lot of them down there. It's actually a impressive place to go.
What's the council's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to proceed with the purchase.
I second.
Motion by Councilman Nipko, second by Councilman Clarkin, to proceed with purchase of the third vehicle, and I assume that in that motion will be the payoff of the 2014 Charger.
Yeah, whatever this thing here.
Okay. Payoff 2014. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed. Councilman.
What about Rick?
Financing?
Yes, that's next. Just looking for my papers here. I got it right here. Okay. Okay, on the financing of the 2013 Ford Explorer, we have two proposals. One from F&C Bank, interest rate of 3.75 for 3 years. The other from Central Bank, an interest rate of 2.75.
I did the math on those, and the difference in them is the central bank's total payback would be $22,824.39, and F&C Bank came in just a little bit higher at $24,661.
11,000 something higher.
What's that?
A little over 1,000 higher. 22 to 24.
That's 1,800.
1,800. Okay. The central bank would say it was 1,800.
And Farmer's got the last car. I got the loan on the last car too.
There were also 3 bids on that, with F&C being the highest bid.
Correct?
And somebody suggested that because they were the hometown bank, we should go with them. I strongly disagree. The hometown bank should be able to work with us and do us a lower interest rate than the other people are offering, and they haven't, so why go with them?
We are stewards of the taxpayers' dollar, so.
I would make a motion to use central bank since they're $1,800 below. It's still local.
Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion by Councilman Nipko and a second by Councilman Carter. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
One of our hometown banks.
Yes. Okay, on the next item, discussion of Chapter 54, the business license ordinance. The new council have not had a chance to study this and review it.
I would recommend that we table it for a week, for a month, give the new council time to look it over.
I agree and concur with that. We will table it until a future meeting.
Who was on the committee?
The committee was Councilman Nipko, Councilman Gilchrist, and Councilman Rayburn.
Anybody have a second and a couple of questions? Not tonight, because you called, we need a couple of questions about your.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I can answer.
I just feel strongly about my telephone tax at the end. Kind of emotional about that. expended, so I keep that.
Cell phone information.
Well, it's on that.
Just deal.
Okay. Jumping back up to item 3 on the agenda, discussion of Missouri Network Utility Transport LC permit application. We received an application with supporting documents, basically wanting the city of Holden to grant an easement on Madison Street. If you're familiar with Madison Street, there are some storage units there. This would be directly south between the fence and the road, which is about maybe 10 feet at the most. They're wanting a right-of-way easement there to put up a pole, as they call it, not a tower, but a pole, that would evidently bring or receive internet under a proposal that was mentioned at a prior council meeting by Tracy Brantner from Economic Development and the Main Street Organization. I have on the agenda tonight discussion only. Are there any questions on that I will try to answer? I assume someone was going to be here tonight, as I requested. Is there anyone from that organization? No one, okay?
I have another question. In paragraph 1, it talks about, along with attached application, find drawings and sample photo. Is there any possibility we can get a copy of the drawing or photo?
Well,
it's pretty big.
I'm going to say yes, it's pretty big. We could, it's available for viewing at the office, or I can go the expense to make copies.
Okay.
You can stop by,
Yeah.
or if you want to check it out. If you can't
Just gonna
come
cost,
during office hours, we'll
What's this going to
check it out to
it's
you.
just gonna cost the city.
Pardon?
It should not cost. They
Yeah.
want an easement from you.
They want an easement.
Okay, who's responsible for it?
The city would, as I understand it, be responsible for the tower if it's on city, in a city easement.
But now,
Is that going to affect our insurance because we have another structure?
We're taking this for a month anyway.
Yeah, we're not voting.
I suggest directing you to talk to that gentleman and find out what his, I think we're giving them the privilege of being under easement, they should maintain the tower.
Right.
we're being responsible
They
for it.
run
Yeah, be
you.
responsible.
That's my thought, though.
I don't think the city should have, if it falls down in a heavy windstorm, I don't think we ought to be responsible.
I remember the
Like
regulation,
thought.
my answer
Liability.
is if I went to Flash, but, you know.
How tall is this tower?
150 feet.
Holy.
Holy correct.
And it's for internet?
As I understand it, yes.
What about,
The company that wants the easement is like a third party. They do the pole and then they sell subscriptions or time.
maybe we should be making something off of it.
Maybe.
Maybe so. That was my thought.
So how long is on this easement, for 100 years, or
I don't think it's so.
I don't think it said it in the
kind of
proposal.
limited on information?
No,
Yeah.
more.
Need more information.
Need more information.
So if it- whenever the time's up, would they take the pole down, or?
Normally, a lease agreement is entered, or a right-of-way agreement is entered that provides for those kind of issues, exactly like you're saying, I would think. And down to these other cities, they would be responsible for
Yeah.
maintenance, removal, of locations, some of this stuff. The city is merely just claiming the right to be in our right-of-way, not making the structure or
If there's any money to be made by the city for a real look at that, or something,
I think they're wanting
you know?
free pass.
if I'm wrong, they want to agree.
Okay, tabled for a future meeting. Okay,
Well, that's more. Page.
so we have to do it again. Okay, do we have anything?
Did, Councilman directed that what maybe removed from the last meeting.
Yes.
Be restored now. You know what you had looked at or what you were,
Yeah, it was Miss Lori Rogers, 2 paychecks.
they were the,
That would be our appropriations at this moment.
do you know the amounts or the,
I haven't written it down.
everything else was approved in the last meeting? Is that what we're, this is,
Right.
Is that appropriate to,
can you make a motion to?
paycheck, $240.11, dated 3/18, and one for $124.67, dated April 1st.
Did everyone hear those amounts? 240 and 124.
240.11,
311, 124.67, the Lori Rogers.
yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve those warrants?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Carter, sorry.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under resolutions and ordinances, bill number 4216, an ordinance of the city of Holden, Missouri, amending chapter 50, alcoholic beverages, to provisions for issuing liquor licenses known as drink licenses to nail salons within Holden, Missouri city limits. This is a first and only first reading. The ordinance was reviewed by the city attorney. We did not have an ordinance that covered this. Now we have a proposed ordinance in front of you. Any questions on that?
Will this affect the number of licenses that we are allowed in the city?
Well, this is a unique, let me try to answer,
Okay.
since I got this little issue. If Teresa Moore is here, she can speak to the merits of what she would like to do. But when I looked at your code, there was no such license authorized. The state's recently issued the special kind license for light wine and I think even beer under 5% or whatever. That's their category license.
So
there was
this
none
is something
here.
new the state put out?
Correct, relatively, for me, of course, I'm old, sorry, too, right, but I looked at our code and have suggested, and I'm not speaking to the merits, whether it's a good idea or not, but for you, gentlemen, what I have done is give you the code provision, or how I think the language, and I'm creating a new license called a drink license that's to permit the sale of light wine and non-intoxicating beer at a nail salon, which I understand is the new, again, showing how out of touch I am, an idea that's what the nail salon. But, point being, your prior liquor by the drink ones did have a limitation on the number of establishments. If you want to make a limitation on the number of nail salons that have these kind of licenses, you could do that, or I thought this was kind of a, I don't want to speak to it, but I mean, or you can create it where there could be as many of these as you got nail salons who want to do that, who come in and get the license. You have 2 options. You always had a traditional history of limiting your number of liquor by the drink license, or we had 3 or 4, Ms. Vinter, 3.
By the drink, yes.
By the drink, excuse me, right, was that not too clear?
3 by the drink, and then we had a couple other package,
Okay.
and one, what, restaurant one,
I don't think we have any restaurant.
By
Currently
the
none.
Well, I mean, they're authorized
By
already.
the drink,
Yeah,
that's by the drink.
So, this doesn't affect that, but if we want to keep a limitation on these numbers, I'm going to need to recommend an ordinance and create that deal if you want us to.
how many nail salons we have in town?
Anybody else?
One in every quarter, I think.
There we go, good idea.
So they want to buy them or sell them, or are they going to provide it for the customer?
I was advised they were providing it,
She's not selling, it's providing.
but the state looked at it to say, if you're providing it, we're going to require you because you're dispensing alcoholic beverage to get our license, and so I think we as a city then are required, when we're following the state, to also say, if you're going to have, you got a city license as well as a state license to dispense white wine and beer by the drink. That's
Well, I don't have a problem with her giving it to customers. I would have a problem with if she was selling it to customers, because we have places to buy those liquor
She can
songs.
just serve 2. She can't serve.
well, yeah, if it's given to them, it's not gonna be open-ended.
So,
Whereas if they're buying it, they could sit there and drink all day.
I never attend a place like that, so I wouldn't know.
I understand.
This may entice
I might go.
City attorney doesn't have to nail done frequently, so he's probably advising here.
I rarely see a haircut.
I did suggest that the $75 fee is that which is the max we can do as recommended by the state.
But this wouldn't affect any of our other,
No,
establishments.
you're creating a new class of a new, if you wish.
Well, I got a nice lecture from my mother-in-law. She's a wine person, and she goes into these quite a bit, and she said it was a great idea. And it was a big business boost for them to have this. So I'm in favor of it if she's not selling. So I'll approve of it.
Well, the problem I have with that is on the backside, paragraph 5130, it shall be lawful for the nail salon to sell.
You're right. You want that modified to just be to dispense?
Yes. Take out sell and put dispense.
Great catch, sir.
And I think up in the section 5130 probably should be dispense of rather than sale of. You know, in the bowl.
Oh. Keep going, you're doing good, but on the 5130, that may be the actual title on it already.
Okay.
You gotta just cite it for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the general category under which comes amusement places, taverns, restaurants, resorts,
Okay.
new resorts, and this will be nail salons as category
Okay, and we just changed the narrative in the
13.
sub paragraph 1 to say dispense, not sale.
Right, so
Any other comments? Questions?
this is just first reading today.
First reading.
Get it out next month, if that change or any others. If people read over it and see things, they'll take the question or anything else, we can have it for me next month if you want.
Do I have a motion for approval of first reading?
I make a motion with the approved changes, that we accept this ordinance.
And I'll second that.
Second by Councilman. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I abstain.
One abstain. Neil abstain. Okay, committees were just assigned tonight. We don't have any reports, but would any councilman like to make a comment this time?
Good, Mayor, and council. I spent a year on the park board, and I feel like things maybe have turned the corner on the park board. I would like to give a shout out to David Cow and Stacy Cow, who have come on the park board. And I think that their heart's in the right place for wanting to be good leaders of our community. I don't know if you guys got a chance to read the minutes that they made up for the work session we had and the actual meeting we had, but they did a really nice job with the minutes for the park board, so I think we're gonna be a great addition to the city's park board.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it looks like things have really turned around since their addition.
Okay, anybody else? If not, we can.
Yeah.
Yes. One matter mediation.
There is need of an executive session.
Yes.
under litigation matters as authorized by Missouri Statute 610.0211 and
Okay, good.
and real estate acquisition matters as authorized by Missouri Statute 610.0212. Is there a motion for an executive session?
I make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Clarkin. Is there a second?
I second that.
Second by Councilman McDaniel. Roll call.
Weeks,
Yes.
Wallace, Nipko,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Raver,
Yes.
Seymour, Clark.
Yes.
Motion carried. We will go into executive session and adjourn to open session following the executive session. Take a 5-minute break.
Seymour, Clark.
Yes.
I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by
I got a question. Do we get paid after we get?
Santa Clerk after the meeting.
Okay. I
No.
second.
Tomorrow. We have signed
Well, Jim can sign it.
I can sign them. I'll stick around and sign them.
it. Okay. Motion for adjournment by Councilman Raver. Is there a second? Councilman Carter. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?